Hi, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry.
And tonight we're going to do the show on the making of this podcast or YouTube show that we're doing. We've had so many questions, and like a lot of our guests that have come have been so surprised when they walk in here of how cool it is. I mean, all the credit goes to my dad. Because the only thing I did was paint, and I was the labor, basically.
Well, that's about the studio, but we got a lot to talk about the show, too.
About the show, but to get this to where he's the one that has this all the way it is. But, so tonight, that's what we'll be talking about.
Yep. We've been at this now for half a year. This is actually episode 27. We've done 26 before tonight, one every week for a half a year. So it's been going for quite a while. An interesting point is that most fledgling streams or podcasts or video channels last about 8 or 9 episodes, and then they go dark and nothing happens after that. So we're way past 8 or 9.
We're doing so good.
Right.
No, and we just like the whole reason. I mean, like, it's so cool. Like, I didn't even know. We didn't even really know how it was gonna, like, this was even gonna go. No. Because we can't even remember how it started. Us being us together doing the show. I know Dad was saying he wanted to do. He retired and he wanted to do a YouTube, right, or a podcast, maybe
something.
He wanted to do something, and then I was like, well. Let's get this done and let's do it. Because I think you were like, the room was not moving along.
Yeah, I had plenty of time to look at 1,000 YouTube videos to try to see how one might build a studio or put together a show of some kind. And I spent a bunch of money on equipment. So I had all this equipment showing up. It's easy to sit in front of a screen and say, oh, I'd like to buy one of those and so forth. After you look at the 1,000 videos, okay? But then I got stuck. And I got frozen, and I couldn't figure out how to get over the activation energy to actually do something. And of course, the people out there that teach you about doing shows like this, they say, just start doing it. And of course, that's where Honey's from.
Yeah, that's my. I'm the type of person that, you know, even if I don't know how to swim, I'm jumping in feet first, and I'm just gonna figure it out. And and so I was like. I just said one day, I think I came over one day, I said, okay, Dad, we're just going to do it together. It's going to be our show, and let's just get this done. And the next thing you know, we were cutting carpet up, rolling it up. I had somebody coming on Friday. We had to get the whole room cleaned, painted, and done. We got the studio done in a week, which is crazy.
Crazy.
And, I mean, I didn't clean it out. He had to clean it out, unfortunately. He had to do that. But we got the whole studio painted, floors down in 1 week, which was incredible. And then it just started rolling after that. And I think I was talking about, oh, it'd be so cool if we had guests. And because, you know, when my kids were little, I always watched Regis and Kathy Lee when they were young, when I was young and raising kids. And it was so cool to see the guests. But then it was like, you know, there's so many people that have a story. And it's like only famous people get to get on those shows or a movie star, you know, and like, we have a lot. I mean, there's so many people have more important stories than them, I think. You know, I mean, you shouldn't have to just be a movie star or a singer to be on a show. So I was like, well, let's do that. Let's have guests, but it has to be good quality guests, right?
Right. Well, I must say that it took me a little while to warm up to the idea of it ain't me anymore. It's going to be, you know, Honey and Harry, or was it Harry and Honey? No, it was going to be Honey and Harry. Okay, because as soon as we got to the idea of we'd like to have guests. Because who wants to watch just us talk for the rest of our lives on the stream? Well, but the first 2 episodes were like that, and the first one did very well, in fact, and people really did like it. But the idea of guests, you know, since we've been going with the Regis and Kathy Lee kind of thing, it's like, okay, well, they invite people on. It's not just them. So people want to see the show because of Regis and Kathy Lee, but they also want to see who they're going to have on. And so we quickly moved into guests. Now, And I warmed up very quickly to that idea because Honey knows 1 billion people in Baton Rouge. I know there's only 400,000, but she knows 1 billion in Baton Rouge, and I know about 5. So, so it was obvious that we had a chemistry that was going to work there. Then we started talking about, well, what is the theme going to be of the show? And both of us knew quite readily that it was going to be something good and positive, not something provocative. And we weren't going to do a how-to channel because we don't know how to do that many things. So we weren't going there either. So we just went with the idea of, well, let's get guests on that have something to do with life in the community, family, health, culture, and faith. And around those ideas, we've kind of focused the show.
And I really think I look back on all the different guests that we have, and they've all been so generous to come. First of all, I have to thank all the people that have come. But you know, everybody, and it's all been positive, good things. People growing in their faith, believing in God, promoting. Like I'm going to, Wendy Lipsy with organ transplant. Like that's so important to get out there. We had Troy and Kelly last week. Who doesn't love Troy and Kelly? I mean, they've taken so many pictures in Baton Rouge.
Photographed just about all those zillion people.
I mean, I'm telling you, but we've had so many. We've had Monitra, who was a social worker. We even had some of my friends that did a rejuvenation center. So we've had so many good people. We even had Santa Claus. I mean, who can say?
Santa made an appearance. And we had Mr. Pumpkin.
We had Mr. Pumpkin. I'm still like on the Santa. Like, I'm still like so happy about that.
No,
like
Santa was cool.
That was a dream come true for me.
Yeah, having Santa here was special. It was like over the top.
It was. So we've had some cool shows. Everybody brought something, even like Patrick, and Reynolds, and he had
talking about nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia, right. And we need to have him back because he knows so much about Baton Rouge. It's just crazy, like old Baton Rouge, all the old. It's just he runs that website or whatever it is on Facebook. Right. So we've had great guests and encouraging stories like my daughter, and we've had Carmen who both had cancer, and
many stories of illness, healing, recovery, and faith.
Their faith in God, how God has carried them through. You gotta have God when you've got to have faith. You just have to have faith because the bad things happen, and if you don't have your faith, you don't have anything else.
Yeah, so, we had one of my nostalgic memories on here, Matt Kennedy from the Morning Drive, who was on the show, and he was very entertaining. And then we had my godchild, Father Vincent from Alabama, and he was giving everybody some good ideas about how to head into Lent and make it their best Lent ever. So
he was great.
We've had some really interesting shows, but we want to show you kind of a collage of pictures of just what it took to kind of put this studio together, because it's in your old bedroom, yes?
Yes, and it's so funny because I had some friends. It was Stormy, who was my next door neighbor, and Wendy, who were here, and I was like, oh my gosh, this bedroom brings back all kind of memories for us. We played in here. We had a great time in here. And now we're doing a show in here. How crazy is that? I would have never guessed. But my bedroom has good vibes.
Yes, it does.
It was a happy place.
Right. And we turned the bedroom into, at one point in time, we turned it into an office for me when I went into teaching. And then it became a room that collected items.
Oh my gosh, it was a junk room.
And turned into a junk room. So we had a bunch of work to do. So we want to show you kind of a collage of the work after post removing the 40-some-odd-year-old gold shag carpet that was on the floor. So we don't have pictures of that. It would offend you to see it anyway. So, let's watch this little video and we'll comment on it. Call it from bedroom to office to studio.
Yes.
So this is what the floor looked like after we removed the carpet. And we're just trying to get all of the detritus off the floor, clean up everything, because and there's everything out of the room stuck in the living room and dining room.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that fan's not there no more. That was my red fan in high school. I thought it was so cool.
The fan took a dive.
It's all gone.
And then, of course, we got that floor put in within the week. And we painted the walls a kind of a gray, which is a good color because it really isn't a color. And it doesn't send a color signal to the camera very much. So you can make it look like what you want to. So we painted it kind of a neutral gray. And, of course, the outlets eventually got changed also to neutral gray as well.
We did it all.
Yep. Now, Honey did, I'd say, 70% of the painting in the room. She did almost all the painting. I did the closet, I think.
Yeah, you did the closet, and you did do some stuff. We did.
So there was quite a bit of work to do. Troy spent a lot of time here. This is the kind of engineered wood that we put on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah,
and there's Honey. There's Honey doing stuff on the bed, painting on the floor down there.
Yeah. And my husband helping. So is this it?
Let's see if it goes on here.
I see we have a comment, Dad, over there.
All right, let's see what kind of comment we have.
We have a comment. Who is that?
That's from Cajun Pilot.
Oh, Cajun Pilot. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Cajun Pilot.
We love our Cajun Pilot.
Indeed. We're going to talk more about Cajun toward the end of the show.
That's right.
So there's what that floor looks like, and it's looking pretty good, I think. Look at the room. That's a transformation.
And that is a transformation. Look how good it looks.
Yeah. Except for the light, which we'll take down.
Yeah, that was down.
And now the furniture's starting to find its way back into the room.
Yeah.
And some of the equipment that I bought that had to be suspended until we got there. We got these barrel chairs we put in at first, and they're kind of good looking, but they're larger than the chairs we're sitting in now. So it makes the set quite cozy. And when you want to go to more than one guest, you can't really do it. Here's that old fan.
There's the fan.
And here's some of the lighting coming on into the room. And we got a bookcase in the back for part of the set. And computers are stuck in the corner over here. We got a shade that stays down 100% of the time now.
Yes.
So we never really pull that up anymore. Now look at that door. That's the bedroom door.
That was the 80s door.
Right. And here's the arrangement that I designed for putting the panels up for sound treatment. And you can see the sound treatment starting to go in. That's those black panels on the wall and some white ones. We have different colors that we put in here. These are to absorb the sound of an empty room so that we don't get a whole lot of echoes. So we put a lot of those panels in.
And we have some decorative ones behind us, and that's what that is.
Yeah, we'll see them in a second.
Yeah,
there's some of the other ones on the wall over there.
Yeah.
I got a maroon one as well. Panels above the window. I've got a throw rug in there on the floor, and there's some of the decorative panels.
Yeah.
So they're sound absorbing also, but a couple of them, as you saw in our opening scene, are rather attractive looking wood cuts, and they look very nice. So that's kind of the work that went and transpired, most of the renovation stuff in a week's time. And then, of course, the studio equipment started making its way in there once we got over that hurdle that Honey got us over. I was stuck and couldn't go anywhere with that room just sitting there.
Well, just to say, Dad could be doing this whole thing by himself, and you would probably have 1 million followers without me, to be honest with you.
If I had to talk and I had to talk about, my friends, I'd be on a short list here. So.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, with your knowledge, like, you could definitely do a chemistry channel. Like,
yes.
You know so much. And, I kind of feel bad sometimes because I'm like, golly, he's...
Well, you've saved me because I really don't want to talk about engineering. I really don't want to talk about work. I want to talk about things that are more important than that.
Well,
good.
Now, Well, good. Yeah.
So that's why we're here doing this.
Yes, absolutely. And we have like really great guests and stuff. But just don't say that you could have done this by yourself for sure.
Technically, I could start the cameras up and take a picture, but
Yeah.
what goes on behind the camera over here is in front of the camera rather is much more difficult. So we want to give you now just a quick tour of the equipment in the studio. I know some of you may be curious. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I want to show you what's laid out in here. So the first thing is we have a little, in session sign on Pawpaw's front door here, because this was my office, remember, about 20 some odd years ago. So first you've got to know that the show's in session, and we let all the people outside know that so they don't make a whole lot of noise.
And
okay?
I think Lindsay made that.
Now let's go on in here.
Oh, look
Now
how
here's the
nice.
studio. It's cozy in here, but you can see we've packed about 7 pounds into a 5-pound sack. And we've got the set and all the equipment and all the computer stuff that we need to have. Let's look at the set first. And this is what you see when the show starts. We look from this vantage point, and you can see that there's a mic over each of the seats ready for the host and the guest. And Honey usually has some kind of a knick-knack shelf behind her, but some very important things on it. She's got Mary there, and St. Michael the Archangel, and she's also got a picture of Odie, her dog friend from the past. Mm-hmm. And so she's got her little knickknacks that will show up behind her when you see her on set. And then over in the other corner, the head case over here, Harry's got the bookshelf behind him. So you can see the two parts of the set. And these, of course, are movable enough. The bookcase maybe not, but that knick-knack shelf. And then a little table in the middle. Sometimes we put props on this table if we're doing something special. We had a dentist in here, and we put a toothbrush on it. Now for the sound equipment. Sennheiser microphones. This is the one that usually goes over me or the guest. And there's 2 more now. We used to just have 2 mics in the studio. It was not working when we had multiple guests. So now we have 3 mics in the studio, and we can mic up a couple of guests. And even Mr. Producer, when I'm behind the computer over there, he has his own microphone, and so he can chime in every once in a while. Here's a revisit on the sound treatment against the wall.
What a transformation.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Yes.
So there's all the sound equipment that we treatment we had. I think the cost on that was about $1,800 total. The sound, all these mics go into the Rodecaster Pro 2. It's a mixer. It's got 4 input channels, and then that will go into the computer and go out on the live stream, where we can mix the channels the way we want. All right, now for the cameras. There's we got a couple of Sony cameras here. That's the FX30. That's Honey's camera. And then here's the ZVE10, which is my camera, or the guest camera. And those 2 are on set all the time, showing the individual people on stage. There's also a iPhone X10 or whatever it is, which shows the general overview of the studio from the front view at the beginning of the show. And then, of course, there's a webcam over there when Mr. Producer wants to come on stage so he can be seen. And we can see that. Now, lighting. Let's turn the lights on. Ooh, the cameras have to adjust, but we have quite a bit of lighting in here. Had no idea how much was really enough, but there's a big panel light here for Honey, and another one for the guest or Harry. And then there's a fill light overhead, a big lantern light that helps fill in any shadows that might occur. Here's the computer with the software working on it. We're using Ecamm Live, which allows us to stream to multiple sites and collects all of the audio and video inputs to the show for that evening. It specializes in live stream. Of course, you can do a recorded show through it as well. And what we have on here is all the scenes that we go to. When I push a button over here, I can change from one scene to the other, or Mr. Producer can. We can also watch the volume of the various microphone inputs coming in as well. And get the comments from the guests. If they type a comment in, we can, or the audience. And this is a stream deck, which allows me to sit right here and on stage and press buttons and have the scenes change. We also have a video monitor so that Honey and the guest can see whether they're in frame and being videoed well. It's not really pertinent for them to watch at other times, but it's there for them to see whether they're in frame. And then, of course, we have a little teleprompter there for Honey or Harry or whoever needs a set of notes so that they can glance at it every once in a while and get the information they want to go on with the show. Pretty cool, huh?
It is cool. I mean, it's impressive. I don't know anything about all that, but it's a lot. And the lights, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the 52-year-old that doesn't have Botox, doesn't get the laser treatment, doesn't do anything. So I just wash with the Cetaphil. So it makes me really think about I need to start doing something.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yes, I do.
The good thing about the lights is that they are cooler than normal studio lights would be. But if you sit in here for an hour or two with the lights up, you start to feel a little warm. So we usually turn the air conditioner down just a little bit before we do that.
I'm always hot. So Dad, and Mom, we always walk out, and Mom's in a jacket.
Right. So we've shown you the renovation, and we've given you an idea of what's here in the studio. But where are we at with the show now? What do we want to do next? What are we looking for in the future? Honey is really, really good at recruiting guests for the show. So we have all of April filled up, and we're starting to book in May. And we've got ideas that spread all the way into the fall for things that'll be timely for the season.
Yeah, well, I mean, just so many important, and I really think like us bringing more priests in is so important, right? Especially right now.
Well, the culture we're in is one that is not savory, and we want to learn how to live in the world but not be of the world. And so our faith is very important to us, and so we're going to have people who can share that coming in from all persuasions, but particularly from our church. And
any church, really.
Yeah, right,
I told you, I went to Mount Pilgrim.
In Donaldsonville,
Donaldsonville, which, I need to get back in touch with my really good friend, Melissa. And I know their pastor or preacher over there wanted to come.
Oh, right.
And, it's just, a different perspective. And I'm Catholic, but it doesn't matter. We all pray to the same God. We all love God. So it's important to put that out there.
Exactly.
It's probably the most important thing that we're doing, to be honest with you. And inspirational stories. I know we have Kevin Kimball coming, and he's with Stabs, and they open up the new Sammys. Like, we have just a variety of different. And I think it's interesting to hear about what's going on in Baton Rouge. I do have a guest that I messaged. I don't know if she got it or not. And they actually started following me.
All right, very good.
So I'm hoping, but
yep.
It's
as Honey told me, he says, if you want to try to get somebody really interesting and meaningful and important on your program, the worst they can do is tell you no.
Yeah, just ask. I mean, if somebody tells you no, it's okay. I mean, say no. It's all right. There's no pressure, but that's the worst thing somebody can tell you is no. You just have to ask. And I asked the Yukon vet in Alaska, and I would love to have her remotely. That would be so cool, because my husband and I love to watch Dr. Oatley's vet show. That's so weird, but we love it. And she does so many amazing things. So
exactly, yeah.
She's cool.
So if you have an interesting story and would like to be on the show, at the scrolling credits at the end of the show, we give you the email address. I think it's honeyandharryshow@gmail.com.
Yes.
And you can just send a note there and tell us what you'd like to talk about, and we'll definitely consider you as a possible guest for the show.
Oh, we would love to have anybody, just good story, good information. Right. I have like a list of people in my head, and when Dad's like, okay, we're getting low, I'm like, okay, and then I'll get like 5 people and I'll send it to him.
Yeah, I think we on day one at some point we were missing like guests for the next 3 or 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden we had about 4 guests booked. So it works like that sometimes, but
it does.
But we've been very blessed to have a lot of interesting and good, wholesome people on the show.
And I see we have some comments, Dad. Can you pull those up?
All right, so let's see.
I think we got Cajun Pilot again.
Yeah, you sure do.
And we have him, and I don't know what the other ones are.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, so we got We got Gemini Jets, which is one of
one of Camp's friends.
yeah,
hey,
right, one of
how
Camp's
are
friends.
you? I'm so glad that you're watching.
Yeah, so appreciate that.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah. Now, one thing we wanted to point out was that we're trying to do a good thing here, and we know we're not going to compete with the huge channels that have all of the current drama going on, or just some really fabulous how-to people. We're not trying to do that.
Yeah, we're not like the movie stars or the Taylor Swifts of the world.
No,
which,
no, we're not like that.
We're not.
Right.
We're just not that. Right. We're not that interesting.
So we're what we call, and both on YouTube and on Facebook, we're called a small channel or a small following. And I put our numbers here. This is today's numbers here. On Facebook, that seems to be about as many as 3/4 of our crowd. The Facebook is 381 followers at this point in time, and on YouTube we have 126 subscribers. So now sometimes a lot more people see the show. We've had over 1,000 people watch a Facebook event before. So.
Oh, and we've had some of our shorts have gotten 4,000.
Yeah.
So just because we don't have the followers doesn't mean people aren't watching.
That's right.
That's the other thing about this, because what I've noticed is that we've had in the thousands, but then we only have the 308.
Right. So we're not worried about the numbers. At first we were thinking, we need numbers, but we really don't need numbers. We just care that we deliver something that someone will benefit from and enrich them. And if that's 3 people tonight and 4 people next week, that's okay. That's all right. And we'll go at it that way. So we're what we call a small channel, and we don't mind it as long as we're touching some people out there and sharing good stories.
Absolutely. And we got a few more comments.
So let's see. We got another one here.
Let's see what up.
Yeah, I'm really bad at comments when I'm in the chair over here.
You're welcome for the shout out. Yeah. That's so sweet.
Yeah. So we may need to get another producer in when I'm on the show.
I know. I can see him. I saw him popping up over there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to say that next week we have Jason Duplessis coming in. Jason is a longtime local entertainer and good all-around husband and father and man in the community. And I know him from a good while ago, but we're going to have him on the show next week, and he'll be a very interesting guest for us. So I call him Mr. Entertainer because he's really good at that as well. So in the league of small channels.
Yeah, our small... So we just love Cajun Pilot. We just love them, and I love he puts up these videos of planes. He's going to be a pilot one day for sure. So I'm so excited about that. So he's a small channel, but and today's his birthday, which is even better. Right. So
and Cajun Pilot put up a shout out video to us, and that was just really crazy for somebody to take the time to do that and to give us a little PR out there. So that was really really nice, and we appreciated that. So what we did was we put together a little one for him as well, and we're going to end the show with that. And let you watch the little shout out that we gave to Cajun Pilot. So we thank you all for watching tonight.
Yes,
Tune in to us next week, and have a great week and a great Holy Week and Easter Sunday as well.
Happy Easter.
Good night.